Colette's Corner.
Hi there everybody, this is Colette from Colette Sewing Machines Plus in Yorkton, and welcome to Colette's Corner. I couldn't be more excited. I have brought in this Dixie Bell line, as you have seen on my previous video. Today I'm going to use it for the first time. I'm so excited. So what I had to do to start with is I took my white lightning and I'm actually going to paint a door. And I'm also going to paint my stand here, or my table here, that's here. I'm going to paint the leg and whatnot. So I needed to go with this white lightning, and I needed to clean everything. We need to get all the greases off, everything like that. So all I did was took 2 tablespoons in 1 gallon of water, and I washed my doors and everything. Didn't wash the walls because I'm going to do something different on the walls. So I got my white lightning and I prepared myself with that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it with the Dixie Bell chalk mineral paint, and the color that I'm using is called Driftwood. Okay, so it's kind of like a gray color and that. Then what I'm going to do, and I'm so excited, this here is a Voodoo gel stain. So on the top here, I'm lightly sanding it because there was a little bit of finish on here that I had previously. I just put like a varnish on here. So I'm sanding this down first so that it's nice clean wood, because I want to put this on clean wood. So I'm going to use this, and this is water based. So it's easy cleanup, quick drying, and that. So I'm going to do that on the top of the table. And this is the applicator that I'm going to use to put it on with. To put my paints on, I'm going to use Dixie Bell's chip, what's it called, 2-inch chip brush. Okay, so I'm going to use this to put the paint on. And then for my finish, I am going to use the Dixie Bell Clear Coat Satin. Excuse me, these are new to me, so I have to read the labels. Okay, so I'm going to put this on for my final coat, because I'm using this in my store and it's going to have a lot of stuff put on it. I want to make sure I have a good finish on it. So this is what I'm going to use. And then I am going to use my, they're called Deco transfers, and they're from Redesign with Prima. And I am going to take these decals and I'm going to go over to that door over there, and I am going to put this on the door, and it is going to look absolutely amazing. So again, this is the first time I'm using these. First time I'm using this, I want to show you how easy it is to use these things and have fun with them. That wall right there, as you can see, is red right now. So what I did is I just went to my local flooring store, and I went into the back and I found these on sale. So, and they didn't have enough for me to do it in one color. So I am just going to use these 2 colors, and I'm going to create a faux wood wall, okay? If I don't like the look of this by itself, I'm going to try antiquing this a little bit, but I think I'm going to like it just the way it is here, and that's going to be my feature wall behind my display at the store. As you can see there, there's lots of transfers to choose from, and just have a look at this table here. This is all of my paints and everything, so sooner or later those are all going to be in my unit and ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to leave now, and we will come back when I start painting my wall. Okay, so now I'm ready to paint, and all you need to do at the beginning is just take a little bottle of water, and you just need to mist the brush. It doesn't need to have a lot of moisture on it. And then I am just going to start painting. Okay, and you're just going to put on a thin coat. Okay. But you can see already that's red, and you can see how well it's covering. So I'm going to definitely probably have to put 2 coats on it, but it covers really well. So I am going to paint this door, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, now we're back. You see that I painted this one with the mineral chalk paint. This was red, as you remember, and look at how well it covered. I only put 1 coat on here. If I chose to, I could go back and put 2, but I think I'm just going to put 1. Then what we're going to do is, like I had said, we're going to use this decor transfer from Redesign with Prima, and these are absolutely amazing. I am so excited to try these. My daughter's actually here, and she's going to help me and that, so you're going to see her a little later. There she is. So she's going to help me put these on. Now again, this is my first try at this, okay? So if I can do it on the first try, you can do it on the first try as well. So in this particular one, there are, it looks like 4 or 5 sheets. So we are going to be putting these on the door, and all you do is they get rubbed on. We're going to use this little stick to rub them on. I have actually another applicator that I'm going to use that's has a little wider base on it, and it makes it go a little bit faster. So we are going to finish up with this shortly, but first what we have to do, we're just going to set these out of the way, is we're going to stain the top of this. Remember I said we were going to do this? Now the color that I'm using is, it's called Voodoo, and the color I'm using is Denim, okay? So this one here isn't a full coverage stain. This one here is going to stain where you can still see your wood through it. So you can decide if you want to put 1, 2, or 3 coats on it. Personally, I did the other end of the table last night yet to see what I wanted to do, and I put on 3 coats. So that's what I'm going to do. So we'll just walk down here a little ways, and I'm just going to show you. You can see here we've already added our coats on, okay? I just put it in that tray. I have a little bit on my sponge here right now. This one has 2 coats on it. So you can see the bare wood there. I'm just going to, oh, do you want to pass that down here? It does dry quite quickly. So if I were just going to put 1 coat on, it leaves it, can you see here, this is already going with the 3rd coat. Okay, so you can see how much darker that one is than that one. So you can choose whatever you want to do. You can put 1 coat and it almost looks like, I'm going to call it a blue wash but similar to what you'd see as a whitewash. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to continue on and we're going to do this whole table, and then we're going to come back and we're going to show you the finished product. Okay. Now what I did is I decided that on this side of it, I'm only going to put 1 coat because I want you to be able to see just by using 1 coat how different it is than using 3 coats. So on this side of the table, I used 1, and you can see over there, you can see the difference from here to here. And I used 3 on this one and just 1 on that one. So it'll be your preference as to how much you want your wood to show and how little you want it to show. Okay, so now it's time to put our coating on it to make it strong. And so what I'm using here, it's the Dixie Bell Clear Coat Satin. I decided I wanted a little bit of a sheen on it. I didn't want it flat, but I don't want it glossy either. This is going to make this way more durable as well because it's going to give it that hard coat. So you can see too that it is milky. This is the way it looks. When you put it on and it dries, it goes clear. Okay, so it goes on basically the same as your stain went on, and you're just going to apply it with this applicator pad, and you're just going to go along and you're just going to continue all the way along your piece, and you just need a thin coat. You don't need to put it on heavy, and I'm just going to go all the way down to the end of my board, and then I'll come back to the beginning again and I will give it another coat. This one here, I have 1 coat on it already, and you can see how it has a little bit more depth than what this side does, and it's not just because it's darker, it's because it has the finish on it. And you can even see from these 2 boards here how much more depth this one has than that one. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this piece, and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so you can see here how smoothly this is going on just by wiping back and forth like this, and just run it along your boards, and you can actually see the boards come to life. Like, I really do like this finish. Another thing about this finish, it's not going to yellow. Lots of the finishes that you use actually will turn yellow. And this stuff does not, so you don't have to worry about anything going, not looking good a few months down the road. Now I'm going to go over here because I have already put 1 coat on there. And because this is going to be a display counter, I'm going to put a 2nd coat on it because I really want to have that extra bit of durability because we're going to be putting so much on and off of here all the time. So. Okay, so we will catch you back once all of this dries and show you what it looks like. Okay, now we're ready to do our door. And again, like I said, this is my first time, so if I can do it, you can do it. So hopefully everything goes the way it's supposed to, but I guess we'll see in the end. The one that I chose, again, is from Redesign with Prima, and the one I chose is called Ruby Rose, okay? We changed our mind on it because the other one was really big, and it would have been just too much to put on the door. We want to leave this kind of simple because it is our first time. So these are what the 3 sheets look like, okay? And we could join these together as one if we chose to, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to go in, and this is the first one that we're going to take here, and we're actually going to cut around this design, and then we're going to take that one and put it on the door more or less in the corner or wherever we decide in the end to put it. Now, there's a tool that comes with your package. This is the tool here, and you use this to rub your piece on, okay? But me being me, I like to make things as easy as possible. So again, this is Redesign with Prima, and this is the tool that you use, and it's got a long side and a short side. So it allows you to get in there and rub everything on in a much larger way than it does with this tool here. Okay, so this is what we're going to use for this. Okay.
So we're going to just cut out a portion of the decaling used for the transfer. Just for ease, we kind of want to make this look like a little bit of a frame going up on the door. So this way we can kind of piece it together. So when you're cutting along here, you just want to be careful. You'll see the slight outline of the decal, and that's what's going to be what sticks onto the door itself. So just take care as you're cutting around just to make sure that you're not cutting off the design. There's a slight bit of clear that wraps around the edge of the coloring of these decals. So you want to be sure that when you're cutting, you do not cut that off, because that's what's actually going to do the sticking to the wall. So we just need to do a rough cut around here, make sure we get the whole of the design, and then we'll get this popped up onto the door shortly.
Okay, now we're ready to put up this transfer. So we're going to decide where it is that we would really like to see it on the wall. Once we've decided where we want to see it, then we're just going to take it back off the wall, and we're just going to peel the paper off the back of it, okay? But what you have to be extremely careful of is you do not want to touch your fingers anywhere from behind, because the sticky is right there. So if I touch my finger there, I could be lifting the flower off and ruining the flower. So you want to be really careful and make sure that that is not going to be in the way. So where do you want this, Joelle?
Well, I think we want to kind of make it look like a bit of a frame. So we want to make sure we're fairly straight.
Does that look straight on your end? Yep.
And I think if we stick down there, so I'm just going to put this piece of tape here just so it holds into the place exactly where we want it, so it's not going to get shifty on us, especially if we don't have an awesome team member like my mom.
So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this little tool that I showed you, and we're going to start rubbing this on. Okay? And you want to rub good, and you want to rub hard. And you're going to continue to do that all over. And once you think that you've got it going good, you'll start to peel back, and you see it starting to lift still. So you're going to go and you're going to keep rubbing, and you're going to slowly peel back until you have it, right on the wall. Okay, you have to use some pretty good pressure, because you need to really, really rub it in. Don't worry that you're going to rip it or anything, because the coating that's on here is going to, stop that from happening. The best thing to do, Joelle, is stay into your area here and get, an area really going, and then we'll see how it peels back and see how we're doing. Okay?
Yeah, it still needs a little bit more pressure.
Yeah. So just give it some pressure and just keep rubbing. In fact, I am going to grab my little stick here, and I'm going to start rubbing this side here. How's it coming?
Good, we just have this one little area. I'm going to flip it around and use a smaller end and really work on that one spot there.
I don't know how many of you out there have actually done a door, but we decided that, well, yeah, you're still missing that right there.
This little corner doesn't seem to want to.
Just keep rubbing, and it'll, and then after this is all done, and we're taking it all off, we are going to take a clear coat, just like we did on the top of our tables and whatnot, and we're going to go over this with a clear coat just to kind of seal it into position. So we're going to keep rubbing away here and that. So once we get this piece on, we'll come back and we'll show you the next piece. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we've peeled our plastic off. We've got everything pushed on really nicely, or rubbed on. So now we're just going to go and make sure that everything is down good just by varnishing it with our fingers. And this door actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it has some texture in it. So we really needed to rub in lots of the areas to really get into this texture to make sure that it stayed where it needed to stay. So for our first one, I think we did a pretty good job. What do you think?
Looks darn good.
Good job.
I'm excited to see the rest.
So now we decided that this is where we want to place this one. So Joelle's just going to pull the paper off the back again. And once that white paper is off and all you're seeing is the clear plastic, it gives you a much better idea of where you want to truly, whoa,
Don't do that.
where you truly want to place it, because you can take it, you know, right up into, what if we kind of moved, oh, that was a little too high. What if we put it like right about there? Because then, does that look good from your side there? Yeah, and then it seems like it's just growing up into there. So now we're going to attach this one here, and we're going to continue on, and once we get the whole door done, we'll come back and show you the finished product. Okay, now we've got our door done, and we did have a couple of hiccups. I will be very honest. We had a little piece come off this M. So then we decided to add the strawberries. And then we had a little hiccup in this corner here. So then we stuck in some flowers. So, you know, being our first time, I'm really, really pleased with the way it worked out. And it's really easy to use. What I found for us, and I think why we had the hiccups, is this door has a lot of texture in it. And so we needed to really rub to get it to sit into the textures, but love, love, love it, and I love the product. This is going to be so much fun. I can hardly wait to do my next piece. I'd love to do this on a piece of furniture, and that I have one sitting at home just waiting for me, a little table to practice on. So don't be afraid of it. Go for it. The worst that can happen is you have to fix a boo-boo. Okay? Everything is a learning curve, so never be afraid to jump into something and give it a try. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this, or put a finishing coat on it, okay, so that it stays nicely on the door. This just seals it, and this of course is going to be opened and closed. And by the way, this is our bathroom, but we didn't have a saying that said ladies bathroom, so we did this instead. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my sponge, and I'm not going to put a terrible amount on it, and then I'm just going to run it over, and I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to finish the entire door. I'm going to put it on the whole door, not just on my transfer. So I'm going to just continue on and do this. I am actually going to put 2 coats on it. I'm going to let the one dry and then put a second coat. I want to make sure I've got, you know, nicely around my door handle and that, because you know that always everyone's hands are touching, and I just want to make sure everything is good there. So this is our redo of our corner. I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. I love the help from my daughter and my camera person, and that it makes everything so much easier that way. We'll just take a little scan over everything. Now that we've got everything all put out, you can see I'm just beside myself with how pretty it looks. So like I say, jump in, don't be afraid. These paints are wonderful. So please join me again on Colette's Corner. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again with another fun project. Bye for now.